AM 1450, FM 99.3, KNSI. Time for Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear it every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturday at 12:53 in the afternoon now on KNSI. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi Voigt, good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while. How are things?
Really good.
Busy. Brandon says you're busy.
Yeah, we have been busy, actually.
That's very nice. Very nice. We have some things to talk about this morning that I think are pretty darn important. There's always two sides, at least two sides to every story, right? Why, in your opinion, Heidi, should people buy real estate, build houses, buy houses, live in houses, as opposed to renting?
There is the easy answer of it's probably the easiest way for people to build wealth.
Right.
And create a savings account on a monthly basis.
Right.
It makes sense. It gives you some control of your overall, budget and economy, and you're building towards something. And so I think that it makes sense to buyers once they're embedded in the process and they actually purchase, like while they're doing it. But today I kind of want to talk a little bit about just the overall benefit to our community that home ownership brings.
People don't really realize that, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, and I had an experience just this week where I met with somebody. They'll list next year, so next March or April, something like that. And just looking at this one segment of this home and the economic impact of them getting their home on the market, what it's going to create just in a community is pretty, it's pretty broad. And so then you multiply that over and over, and the monies that people are spending in the community to get their homes on the market to eventually sell is significant. They're looking at doing a new floor, paint, hiring cleaners.
So think about the money, right? It's the circulation, right? It just goes from this person to that person to that person.
It definitely is. And if you look at our jobs economy and see how many professions are directly impacted by that housing process, it's pretty significant. And Central Minnesota has always had strong home ownership, and I think that cycle produces good results.
I know that you folks really don't focus that much on building, correct?
We work with a lot of builders,
okay.
And that is a big piece of this puzzle.
Right.
The generation of new construction is going to be necessary for us to catch up with housing inventory.
Sure.
So that's a huge piece of it too, and there's really good statistics for that. But I think sometimes we overlook the statistics of just regular existing homes and what people do and how that creates and generates income for our community.
The reason I brought that up was I had we just built a house, and I had a guy say to me, I said, "Why should I use you?" He said, "Well, I'm a small business.
Yeah.
And by you hiring me to do this, I'm going to be able to feed my family. I'm going to be able to pay my employees. They, in turn, will be able to feed their families, maybe buy a car, a new truck, a this, a that, or whatever." But think about that, because it goes from this to that to the other thing. If you're buying a home, if you're building a home, you're creating cash flow for, 10, 15 people.
Yeah, you're part of the job creation cycle.
It's a good thing.
It is a really good thing. So there's a lot of things that we look at. For the community in general, create some tax generation for the cities to fix our roads and service our different programs that we have. There's a bigger idea of the job retention. So it's not just the trades that, like you had mentioned, like why do you use it, but the trades are important. But if people own homes within a community, the job retention rate is higher as well, because they're a little bit more tied to where they're at.
And you think of your city services, right?
Yeah.
Everybody shares in that cost. So
Correct.
The more everybody's that you have, the lower those costs are going to be.
Yeah, or sustaginable maybe.
Sure, exactly.
I don't like to broadcast lower because we haven't seen lower of anything in a long time. But maybe keeping those sustainable and not going through the roof is a big deal.
So I understand the importance of taxes, right?
Yes.
We use these services, we need to pay for them. That's just the way that is. But again, you are still having wealth being circulated, dollars and cents being circulated when you are paying those taxes. Nobody likes to do it, I get it.
Yep.
But sometimes you have to.
Well, that, and you look at our employers and our job retention, and some of our biggest employers are people who are paid by those tax dollars.
Right.
So, and those two are people who buy and sell homes and live in homes and hire people to replace their flooring and all those other consumer goods that are housing related.
So when you have a conversation with a prospective homeowner,
Yes.
do you talk about things like this? I mean, I kind of think you must brush over them in general, but being able to go a little bit deeper when the time comes, right?
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, I think that more of the conversations are initiated with sellers initially, and talking about, there's a lot of really good home builders. So a lot of the homes that we sell in central Minnesota are good quality construction. So when we're visiting with people about improving, it's generally the surfaces. You're looking at counters and floors and paints and light fixtures and the jewelry of the house. Generally, the houses are built well.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of a fun piece, but that's some of those things where people can impact their pricing by doing some of those surface things. And if people haven't done it, that's when we start talking to buyers about, okay, well, you want to do flooring here. This is going to be $8,000. And people go, well, I just need a couple of appliances. Well, your couple of appliances are now $4,000 versus, or $6,000 versus $1,500, that type of thing.
I love how you look at things, Heidi.
Yeah.
I have never heard that phrase, the jewelry of houses.
Oh yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how can we work with you at VoigtJohnson Real Estate, Heidi?
Well, you can certainly give us a call at 320-774-2400 or visit our website at VoigtJohnson.com. We've got a great gallery of agents for you there.
Taking you home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturdays at 12:53 in the afternoon on KNSI. Start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Heidi, thank you.
You bet.